Hey y'all, it's me again, Joey.
Well, ready to let them loose?
Yep, that's it. Let's see if they make us run.
Oh,
Probably so.
yeah, that one tried to get after him, but other than that, what can you expect? I mean, can you blame them? Oh yeah, they're getting after us now. Go, Joey, go!
Hey man!
Hey, man, buddy. I'm gonna get in the truck. You gotta go back and get your camera.
But also, just get as many as you can off the one next to it. Hit out.
You gotta move forward.
Do that side again. Y'all ready? Let's get started. Let's get started. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. I am wore out. All my bones hurt. How about you, Mr. JW? You doing all right?
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna make it another go around.
Yeah.
I'm like you. I'm wore out. I treated bees today till it got rained out. I got rained out early. I didn't get to them all. Hopefully, I can get finished up tomorrow, and then I'm going to be caught up. But my stuff's been through a lot of feed.
I played in the bees a little bit today. Again, and my bones, talking about hurting everywhere, my bones feel better when I do a little something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went through my long highs today. I ain't gonna say a whole lot about them because I'm gonna make a video about it, but they'll probably be loaning some honey out to somebody.
Yeah. That's I had a pretty good winter so far, but I'm telling you,
Yeah.
Folks that's in my area, they got feed out and haven't checked them for a while. They best be checking them because my bees have pretty well gone through 3 and 4 pounds of fondant from the 27th of December till today, and they were all. Or yesterday's when I actually got into them. I lost 4 hives out of
Really?
48. So I'm down to 44 now, and I've got one of them was a queen failure, and 2 of them was starve out. And one of the starve outs had 40 pounds of honey in the lower box. They would not
gracious.
Wouldn't go down there and use it. He's all dead in the top box, and I was out of fondant. So I've got some older queens in one yard that, I planned on replacing this spring anyway, and one of them, I felt like she wasn't gonna get the job done. She didn't. She died on them, I'm pretty sure.
We got 48 folks in the house. I'm gonna say hey again to everybody. Not gonna try to call you names. I get messed up. But let's see. We do have the link pinned. If anybody wants to come in, it's somewhere. Yeah, it's pinned. It's been a warm day. I hadn't even looked at the temperature, but don't get excited. I've been wearing short pants all day.
No, it's not.
Except when I was in the bee yard.
That's 43 here right now, but it's starting to rain about about noon. it rained me out, and it's drizzled. It's not rained heavy, but it's drizzled around pretty steady the whole time. They say we're going to get an inch out of it, so we'll see.
I think it looks kind of cloudy out there. It's been a little cloudy all day. The sun never really did shine, but we're supposed to be getting some rain pretty soon, I think.
So, well, I wish we'd get a good beating rain to. That's one of the reasons I got this background behind me. That's the reason I hate snow. That's not a current picture, of course, but that's what the ground looks like when you got livestock. You know, after you get snow up here in this clay, it just makes it rotten, and it's just a mess.
Last week, I mentioned last week to somebody that even though we didn't get a lot of rain the last time, it seemed like our ground didn't dry out as quick as it does down here. Usually, sun comes out and the wind blows a little bit. It's like a powder keg.
Yep.
But it hadn't done that. And the day after I mentioned that to somebody, the Washington Parish Council put out a burn ban. Beat all ever seen it. I looked at the ground to see if I could do any kind of tractor work, and it was just too soft, you know. Said I'm not going to do it. I'll put ruts all in my field and stuff.
Yep.
Evidently, they dry on parts of the parish. Oh, Tom must be working late tonight.
You know, working his jaws, I imagine.
He said he'd be here in about an hour. That could be in the next few minutes or 2 hours later.
Yeah. I seen your little video of your light hives. Was that those fondant patties? When did you put those on there? You recall?
2 weeks ago, I think, maybe something like that. Can't remember. I'd have to go back and look at the dates.
They were all clean, weren't they? I mean, the ones I noticed are happened to see.
Yeah, they eat it out. It looked like they started slow at it the first few days. I'd kind of peeked in some of those with the interview cover, but once they all found out about it, they took off.
Mine was, like I said, I had 3 and 4 pounds on about all of mine, and they were. Oh, if we'd had another week of cold weather, I'd probably had several losses because there were just very little left in any of the hives, and I had 3 or 4 pounds, you know, on every hive I had.
Yeah. I got one more little bag here. Actually was going to use it and save the one. I had a little piece left from the one he gave me last year, I think it was. But I went ahead and used it and saved one of the newer ones. I'll probably put it on my little single.
The only thing I've got against it, and I'm talking about my own stuff too, and I've got mine all packed in quarts, you know, is the way I feed mine in quart bags. The only bad thing about those plastic bags and putting the fondant in them that I've found is when you go to trying to get the bees out of them when they got them cleaned out, you know, there's going to be a few bees in them, and they
yeah.
I'm going to try, and if anyone's got any more of a scientific mind than myself or an imagination, I'm trying to figure out some way that I can put that fondant in my hives where I can control it, but yet not have to shake them out of those plastic bags. There's got to be a better way to do that.
I know some of mine. I'd open that bag up and
Yeah.
shake it like that, and they'd fly up.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of them wanted to go all the way down.
Yeah.
I'd had to turn it upside down and try to shake them out. They
Yeah.
just started ripping the bag open.
If you got real stout hives, there can be an aggravation to try to get the bees off of them, without killing
Yeah.
all the bees that's on them. Because mine were, some of mine had, 1,000 bees in the bag. So he's trying to give me a pointer there. My buddy out there, Festus. You know Festus?
Yeah.
That's my Festus buddy.
Uncle Barry said his running out of stores. As much as some of mine had on them, and some I looked at today had on them. That's one thing I fear about taking some from them, even though it looks like they got more than they need.
Mm-hmm.
Certain times of the early spring around here, they can get kicking, and then you come back in 7 days, and all that honey's gone.
Yep. I'm telling you, that's the reason I put at least 2 pounds on every hive, more, because it's supposed to be in the 70s next week. Then it's supposed to drop back down into the 50s and so forth. But it's not the daytime highs or the daytime. It's the nighttime, temperatures is what I watch. If you get back down there in the low 30s or even below 40, well, them bees are gonna, and there's no forage, and bees are gonna, be desperate for something to eat again if they don't have anything in there. So, Joe, I'm gonna grab a cup of coffee real quick here on you, buddy. I'll be right back.
All right. Here, catch.
I need that death wish so I can keep going.
Oh, I thought you said cough drop. You said coffee. There you go. I got my diet. Well, I normally have Diet Pepsi, but I got Coke Zero tonight. Anybody want to come in and talk with us now? Come on in. We got plenty of room over here. See if I missed any questions. Somebody said they did that right there. Did they, Miss JW? Put it between parchment paper? Was that Mike Berry? Or was that Patty? That might have been pollen patties he did that with.
Beekeeper there one says, I've got to figure out something. I'm thinking maybe get the size, if I could buy some of them aluminum trays and just pour it in. When I pour it to make it to let it set up, the fondant is pour it about an inch and a half thick in those aluminum trays. It'd be the same size, and then cut the parchment paper to the same size and put a strip on each side. That way, when they got done with it,
Yeah.
If you get the exact right consistency, you could put it on, without having them in that bag. If you could get it to where it would be the right consistency, but you'd have to be awful persnickety on your formula and your cooking time to get it down pretty pat, I'd say. So I'm real satisfied with my fondant and the shape it's in. In fact, I'm gonna start making some more in the morning, because I went through about 250 pounds on 48 hives since basically Christmas.
Good gracious.
December the 27th is when I put most of it. But I'm telling you what, I may end up like Todd Prater out there in California. I may have me a mess because I have got some super stock hives. As soon as the weather, there's no forage here. I mean, if we get 2 or 3 days, get this rain in 2 or 3 days, in the high 60s or 70s, maybe next week, I expect some of the early bloomers.
So you're all double deeps on yours, your colonies?
Mostly double deeps or deep in the medium.
Deep in the medium.
Yeah. I run mostly 8-frame stuff too, but I run them all the same, whether they're 8s or 10s. My hives are, population wise, I've got some strong hives. So I'm just loaded. I'm just loaded.
It's amazing how much stores they going through. It's cool as being up there.
Well,
It must be just warm enough for them not to really want to cluster, huh?
I had some. I OAV'd a bunch. Got rained out. I've OAV'd about 45 or 50 hives, counting mines. And Matt's got a few hives out here too. I've treated him also. So, but I've got the conventional and a conventional Instabap, the older ones, and I got a turbo too, so I can go through a bunch of hives pretty quickly if I can. Get, but I can go through 40 hives pretty quick.
Yeah. I can go through them pretty quick too if I put that camera down.
Yeah.
I grab that camera, I'm gonna slow myself way down. What I need to start doing is just do a couple with the camera and then put it in the truck and get after it.
Yeah. I may, if the weather gets right, I may stick on a few supers, but they ain't nothing, there's nothing for them to get naturally here right now.
So. Well, I called it nectar in the last video and this one, but after thinking about it, what I see as nectar, it might have been nectar they made out of moving honey out of another frame, getting it closer to the brood nest. They may have broke it down a little bit to feed with it.
I tip some top boxes up and look at the bottoms of them. I've got a little dab of, even up here in this cooler country, Joey. I've got a little dab of brood, cat brood.
Yeah.
They've
some of those guys that go in their hives more than I do said they see a nectar.
Yeah.
And
I haven't been into mine. I haven't than just pop of three or four top boxes. I haven't been into mine at all. I don't like to not break that propolis seal unless I have to. But
yeah. You break it.
I'm glad I got into mine because I was into mine.
Back down. I think I talked over you. Somebody gonna have to give us something to talk about. We've talked about hungry bees long enough.
Yeah. I'm not.
I got on there. I probably, after I get off tonight or either in the morning when I'm drinking coffee, go ahead and get my tickets for the thing in Missouri. I was going to do that today and got to questioning my wife and found out she said, I'll just go do something else. You go to the thing. Last time she just started around in the motel a little bit and went for a couple little rides, looking at things, shopping, stuff like that. She don't even bother with the beekeeping stuff.
I think that area around there is pretty good. I wouldn't. There's places in St. Louis you don't want to take off to. No. Then it's if she stays in reasonable distance of that area there around where the outing is, she'd be all right. She don't want to go downtown by herself.
Yeah. She'd probably just hang around the hotel. Just to
Well,
get
yeah,
away just to get away from all the chaos around here. Sometimes it's just worth it to her, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. You're in a kind of a really a chaotic area out there where you're
Yeah.
at. You're kind of like me.
Yeah.
It looks to me like back up there on Rawls Alley or Rawls Lane or what do you call it? What?
Yeah.
Uh, you've got some buffers out of that the guy go through that's a little younger than you guys are. Looks to me like your boys up there. They have to get by them to get to you. So
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna try to get back down there after the thing kind of settled down. I get my bees all squared away. When you had those, tell me, re-enlighten me, and I'm going to write it down right now. You had your there Franklinton. You have that club there. Your meeting is it on Thursday nights?
The third Thursday, the
Third,
one in Franklinton is.
third Thursdays. I'm going to write that down right now. And better yet, I'll put it in my phone if I can find my phone.
Third Thursday of every month except October.
Okay.
And that's fair week. Yeah, Huckleberry, I plan on trying to catch a few. I'm probably not going to try to go crazy with it, but I am going to set a few swarm traps out and go to any swarm calls I might get.
I'm going to try to get that put in my phone here, Joy. Third Thursdays every month.
Third Thursday.
Okay.
6 o'clock. The doors usually open at least by 5:30.
Well, I'll be early. You know that we'll be hit that restaurant up there.
Yeah, Brad, he made some pretty ones. He needs to throw some of that old wax moth eating crumbled up comb down in there and let it sit there for a little while. When I got new boxes, that's what I do. I grind some of that old comb up and just throw it all down in the bottom. Yeah, I used to catch some pretty good swarms around here. It seemed like they just kind of, the last couple of years, what I've been catching is just mediocre. I don't know what the deal is with that. Keith's got 6. That's me, Keith. I'm gonna probably put them up earlier this coming week, maybe, if I can. I've got 12, but I don't think I'm gonna put them all up.
Okay, I think I got it in there. If I don't delete it or something, I may ask you a dozen times for that all takes place again. So. I don't know if I'm even gonna. I didn't set any traps the last year at all. I've got about, I don't know, 8 or 10 swarm traps, but I don't even know if I want any more swarms or not. Period.
Well, that's me. I'm trying to get a lower number of colonies, but I may even just sell some of my colonies, like kind of like Mr. Ed does,
Mm-hmm.
just to get the count down a little bit.
Speaking of that turkey, didn't I see where he told you he might be on tonight?
He
Come on.
did.
He may be a Palestine, though. You know, he's in.
Yeah, he probably got told different, huh?
Yeah, he's a newlywed and compared to us.
Yeah.
You had a couple questions for him. I thought that I seen on you. I don't know. He I guess he responded on to your video that you had out that he'd be on this evening, maybe.
Me and my wife always wait to the mad rush to all the places to eat and everything. We always wait till we either go a little early or
Yeah.
a couple of days after when everything slowed down and all the people that had to follow tradition, we'll follow them later.
Yep.
I'm having a hard time seeing them text over there. Need me a bigger screen. Read that out. Give me just a second here. I heard my doorbell chime.
It's a big dog out there.
Oh, that's Mama walking the dog.
Oh, well. Okay. Rick, First New Apiary, where are you located at? I think he's a new one. Isn't that a new one, Rick? Or do I know him? Joey?
I think I've seen him around.
New Hampshire. Oh, you're right up there, but
Yeah.
Big Mike buddy. Okay.
He's in the cold.
Mm-hmm. I tried some of Mike's, tasted Mike's honey that he gave me down at Nobby today, just out of curiosity. I'm not a honey fan or, to start with. I wanted to see what it tastes like. Kind of had a little bit of a mini taste to me. I'm talking about Mike's honey. I don't know what his forage would be up there. Hey, Lisa. Frederick, get your stuff over, get on here and help us out. We're about to run out of anything to talk about.
Somebody needs to come in.
Gonna be short and sweet. They don't enjoy.
Cayman needs to bring it on in.
Like I said, a lot of folks probably out with their Valentine this evening. Yeah.
I'll post this thing one more time.
Maybe that's what it is, Dodd. That might have been knotweed. I guess that's probably what it is, because I have not been privy to knotweed honey. But it had a completely different taste than anything honey-wise I've tasted in the past. I will say that.
Huh. What knotweed actually makes a nectar
Yeah, apparently.
that the bees can get.
Hmm. Yeah, same to you, same to you, Cayman. Enjoyed visiting with you. They had a nice little. Well, we talked about that too. But they had a nice little outing up there in Madison. Cayman was one of the featured speakers up there. But
Yeah.
they had some good speakers up there. Yeah, Lambrook. That is their dark honey. That almost like what we used to call black molasses. You know, we used to corn molasses. About that color of that, if you know what I'm talking about, Joey.
Yep.
You know, my dad was a big molasses lover. We'd go all over the country to eat the molasses meal. It was a little, had the kind of, always had that kind of a little bit of about like my smell now. I haven't had my smoker lit today, and I've still got on the same shirt. I got that smoky smell. I haven't cleaned up yet.
Yesterday I went in the bee yard and I forgot my bucket of dried pine straws. So I went out there and raked some up. It was wet. It's kind of steamy, but it was still making a good smoke. I have had it going so hot and it was wet, it would actually get to popping in that smoker. You ever had to do that?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I have, yes. Maybe that's some of them popcorn trees you got down there. Maybe you got some of them buds off of. Ain't that what? Don't you know what they call the popcorn trees? Ain't that one of them?
Yeah, it's that tallow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's that
Yeah.
one of them forms of tallow.
Uh,
Maybe you got some of that in there.
it could could have. I just grabbed up the pine straw and punched it down in there. I had to go get me a new propane torch today. I don't know what happened to mine. I don't know if moisture got in it and it rusted up. I tried to clean it. I can't get propane to go through it.
Is it just ones that the torch that just screws on them
Yeah,
little
just screws
bottles?
on the map or propane bottle.
Yeah, yeah.
You pull the trigger, nothing comes out. It's almost like it's on an empty bottle.
Have you changed bottles? Tried to change the
Oh
bottles?
yeah, I put a brand new one on there.
Russell's got a question for you there, Joey. Russell Koopman.
That one.
Yeah.
Well, if I do, what if I'm doing the pulling nukes out of the double deeps? I pull 5 frames out for the nuke, which is 3 broods and 2 foods, a mix of honey and pollen. And then I leave 2 to 3 broods in the bottom box and some food and empty comb if I got it. And all the leftover, I pull all the other brood comes out. Once I make the nuke, it's going to go on top. And what's going to stay in the bottom box, I pull all the extra brood out and pass it on down the line. And I'll do that all the way down the line. So I guess I'd safely say I leave 3 frames of brood in each box, in each double deep. And then I add a bunch of new frames. I get all my old bees, three frames of 2 to 3 frames of brood hatching out. And if I ain't careful, I still got to pull some more in 2 or 3 weeks once they get rolling. I hope I answered that question. I could have made that a lot longer, but I tried to keep it short.
Yeah, I'll leave at least 3 in mine. I'm running mostly eight frame for production type hives. Doing basically the same as you're doing in tens, I guess, Joey.
And another thing that I used to do once I stacked them two, the broods and the some food and the new frames back together, I used to also in that top box, if I had an extra brood, I'd just stick it in that top box and mark it and come back and get it. I got where I'd forget to come back and get it, and it'd make that box I left it in blow up too fast. So I got where I just anything extra, I go in the nuke box and just pass it on down the line, or because you're gonna find somebody that don't have enough, but you want to make them even with everything else anyway. That's kind of my intentions when I do it like that is also basically equalizing the yard.
I'm gonna have to come up with a bunch of weak ones then, because I surely got a bunch of stout ones. I just, I make them feeder shims, 1.5 feeder shims with the 1/2 inch wire on them, and the inch insulation above them, and they just, when you pop them shims open, take that old insulation up is just solid bees, so I've got. I'm really afraid of the weather, I don't want to give them too much space. If it wasn't for that, with that forecast the week after next being kind of chill back down here, I'd probably put some. I've got all kinds of supers. I'm drawing combs to stick on them, but I feel like they need space, but I don't want to give them too much space and it turn cold and they chill out because they can't take care of all of it. So I don't know.
Uncle Junior, I'm not sure if they really care if it's brood, especially open brood. They're not gonna worry about it.
I tend to
All the
agree.
little young bees are gonna jump on it anyway and start feeding it. That's just their nature.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that.
I've actually took a nurse bee that kind of got lost, didn't know where he come from. I see him walking around, just stick him on the landing board of a hive, and a couple of them would run out there like they're going to attack him, and they'll realize it's a young bee, I guess, and then they'll just push him on
Yep.
get back in there where you belong.
I think that's true. I don't think they care.
Tom wants to talk about the little expo tonight. He better get here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fall asleep.
Yeah. You're a little different situation down there, Des, than what we are up here. I don't. I'm not going to attempt to tell you that whether it makes any difference or not.
Or he'll.
Huckleberry, you got a word in there at the end. I can't decipher.
Where's he at?
Oh, 7:39.
I don't know what that is.
I can't. He's miscued. Hit the wrong keys there on something, but I can't.
Yeah. You know how big that thing they having, the convention or whatever it is? How
Where's
many
this?
people?
St.
How many
Louis?
people? Yeah, it's fairly big.
Oh, they'll have 350, 400. I'm gonna,
Yeah.
just I don't have anything to do with it now. I don't have a horse in that race, but I've been there enough. I'd say 300 or 400 people probably. They have two different kind of class set up. They got a setup, primarily for more novice beekeepers or beginners, and some they split it up, and some more advanced or people that's been at it a little longer.
Yes, Huckleberry. I always have some resource hives.
Okay, got you. Okay, resource, yeah.
Hmm.
I guess you always do where you think you do or not, I suppose.
Yeah, any of them is not going to be production.
Yeah,
I'm going to use them for something else.
yeah. John says 22 vendors. That sounds about right. They usually have this, I'm going to say in the 20s for vendors. Have had the last couple of years anyway. Yeah. They have a nice little low outing there. If anybody that's in the area or wants to partake, it's they have a nice outing. They've got some good speakers this year, and I can't name them off, but I think they're all good except maybe the host, maybe Mr. Sossman, and there's some guy coming out there from Colorado. I won't name his name. I don't know how knowledgeable he is. He's an ex-school teacher. You know how they are. Putting on he's going to tell you how to make $1 million raising bees. Brian, I'm talking about Brian's about that.
Yeah. Spend
rocks at me.
Yeah, spend 2 or 3 million to make $1 million, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I'm on my 3rd million since I retired.
Yeah.
I never could make the first 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's probably several of us in here that belong to that club. Oh, he caught me. He got it. He's sneaking in, watching me in the background to listen. I don't know.
Let's see what he said here. His resource hive declared as one colony in the eyes of the state. Oh, I don't know. If it's a resource, mine is usually going to be just a single box. It could be a nuke. It'd be a 10 framer.
Yeah, Uncle Junior, I don't have that problem. I'm in the middle of the sticks, and so's Joey. I know we're both in the country, so we don't have any one governing as to how many nukes we can have or whatever. I'm in the middle of 6 sections, so not too many bees or anything else around me. Nobody cares. Yeah, you're right about that. I've got some that's when it pops, it's really going to pop as big as they are now, Keith. I'm concerned about having too many bees in some of my boxes right for this time of year. And I've got some pretty strong Caucasian influence stuff too.
That's one of our newest members right here.
Oh, your club down there in Franklinton?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, your city fathers probably won't be bothering you about number of hives, will they, though?
Huh?
I was talking to your friend down there, Miss. How you pronounce that? Violetta?
That's close. Violetta.
Yeah. Okay.
Violetta. Unless she's fired him, I think Mr. Ed's going to be kind of mentoring her.
Oh, goodness. Well, sweetheart, I wish you luck. Oh, boys.
I remember right. Appreciate that, Uncle Junior.
Yeah. I don't know. Tom, I don't know I can't decipher what you're trying to say. Hive alive, maybe.
Oh, he was saying hey to her.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
her channel name is a little bit different.
Okay.
Double newts. Let's see. Let me read that one. Yeah, that'd work. They grow fast when you have double nukes like that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll blow up in a hurry.
Yeah, I've let them run 5 frame 4 deep before even, they
Yeah,
pop up there.
I've seen a couple people do that. Make a lot of honey
I
with
don't
it
do
too.
much of it anymore, but I used to. Well, Tom, out there at Maccabees, you better be getting your goal set. You're getting to the age that, if you don't plan ahead, you may fall off the cliff. He'll be throwing rocks at me too. I'll have all your visitors run off, Joey, insulting all of them. You can get back. You can get even with me out there. I think Tom's coming to St. Louis even the way he talks.
I started drinking my Coke too quick before it quit fizzing. That
Yeah.
strangled me.
Well, there's a bunch of, seems like to me, and I'm either getting seen on forgetting everybody, or there's a bunch of new names tonight that popping on here, Joey. I'm gonna have them all run off. I won't be back.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Mean bees.
one of them. Some mean beans. We'll take them back over to
Yeah.
Miss
Yeah. Tell him you want to trade them in.
Miss Mahola. I'm gonna say take him back over the head and switch out on him. Tell him, you know what those old nasty mean things. Yeah. That one that's on me, well, I'd see if I couldn't come up with maybe a different queen for her. If you change out that queen sometimes, maybe that might help your situation with that on me one. Eric, I'm assuming you're in Colorado out there around John and Brian. Where are you located out there?
Who is that you talking to?
Oh, Eric, 739 or 749 there, just north of Brian. Right.
Email me some, Lee.
Sir?
I told Lee to email me some of that coffee.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm on now, Lee. But it's not Death Wish, but wouldn't hurt me any. I'm trying to stay awake here.
I ought to put me a little coffee pot out here, a little small 1 cup maker, or one big enough for this anyway.
Yeah, that's a 4-cupper. I've got a little old 4-cupper that I
Yeah.
make mine in for. This one isn't my bigger one, but it's,
I think this is a 20 ounce.
yeah, different. I've got all different sizes, but I have to have 5 or 6 to be able to find one when I go to
Well, yeah, I got
drink it
this
out.
one right here.
Yeah.
I got this one right here.
Mm.
And I got this one right here. I'm just keeping ice in this one.
I had 3. I can't hardly believe that. He's talking out there in New Jersey where
He emailed it. He texted it to me. He didn't email it. He texted it. It ain't gonna taste the same.
oh no. Gotcha. That stuff's got some go motion power in it, I can tell you that. That's a long drive from me. I guess you're talking about Lafayette, Louisiana, aren't you, Ron?
Does any state tell you how many you can have? How many bees you can have? Or hives?
I'm not privy to that kind of. I've never been involved where it was a controlled situation like a village or a town or something. Uncle Junior says that New Jersey makes him get rid of nukes on October the 25th of each year. He can't overwinter a nuke if he has 3 highs total. They must allow you so many boxes per. He says he has us under 1/4 of an acre. Might have something to do with it. That's something I would be totally unfamiliar with because I have no basically restrictions. No one in my area.
Yeah. Clay, ours normally it starts almost about now, maybe somewhere around mid-February, and just slowly gets a little quicker trickle, and by 1st of March it's rolling pretty good. I think that's the black bear and everything coming in, and then all of a sudden we'll get a dip. We never know exactly where that dip's going to be. It might be right at 1st of March or second week. For whatever reason, that flow would just dip for about 2 weeks, and we had to really get over that. And then it gets back up and gets to going pretty good. Then it's kind of a weird flow.
About like you, Joe, I'm about to choke out here. Yeah, I could do that. Roy's tried to get you thrown in jail out there in New Jersey. You listen to him, he's an old timer like me. He'll get you in trouble. Okay, DC question. I think the bees would use to find the feed or try to store it leading into a flow. Be,
That's really not a question for me because I don't feed a lot.
well, I normally don't stick my neck out too far telling other people what to do with their bees, but I'm going to suggest that you can feed that fondant right up till you got a flow started, DC. I don't think it'll have any effect upon them bees. Will actually, uh, if they got access, they'll store a little bit of that that fondant. It's already broke down. It's inverted, so they can handle it pretty quickly. Now, I've never known they had enough in any of my hives that I could say it was.
Yes, the answer to that, Uncle Junior, is yes.
Yeah, you can freeze it. I
It'll return to its stage it was when you got it, when you get it out.
didn't he give you some last year? Did you freeze that, Joey?
Yep.
Yeah, I've never froze any. To be honest with you, I break mine down as soon as when I make it, and I just make it as I need it primarily.
I kept it in the freezer because it get hot in this honey house sometimes. I don't turn the air on. Get pretty warm in here.
I've got 4 freezers, Joey, and I got them all about full of honey
Mm.
in frames.
Yeah. Hey, ripple effect. Well, about time for Tom to show
I wouldn't hold my breath.
up. I probably won't be able to do a live next Saturday. I'm gonna be up that way.
Well, it'd be interesting if you had look set
If I
up.
don't have something going on after the thing is over with, I might can do something. But
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. You're gonna have something going on afterwards if you can get the missus out there with. I'm gonna need you to help me keep Todd Prater under control. He gets a little bit out of. If he gets a little bit out of line, you get out there and some of them local.
what time's he got to get back on the plane?
Oh, it won't be till Sunday sometime.
Sunday.
Yeah, they've got him after uh, Matt's woman's kind of organizing that. There's no charge or anything. She just like to know she got to make reservations. There's a little pretty nice little, and they've got a private kind of a dining area that we went to last year, just down the road from the motel. Oh, it ain't half a mile probably for the there where their deal is, and everybody went down there after Clay Bunner and Dodd. Dang, excuse me, senior moment. I don't. Well, there's just everybody that was pretty much there was went to that. Just,
I'm gonna say red maple ripple is our first decent one,
yeah.
and then the blackberry gets rolling, then the privet, and the privet usually, for whatever reason, privet you can have two a half a dozen trees lined up beside each other, and they might every one of them start at a different time.
Yeah.
That's pretty much our build up flow. Those three I just named.
Oh, I wouldn't, DC, I wouldn't say any more likely to. Uh, It'd be more likely than to store dry feed and maybe sugar water, depends on 1-to-1. I don't feed anything but 1-to-1, so I'm not ever. I never feed I've never fed above a 1-to-1 ratio in sugar water in my life.
Yeah.
Never done it.
What's the Saturday night dinner?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
It's just to get together.
Okay.
I think you'd enjoy it if it's I don't know, it's kind of a uh, um, um, it's a bar, but it's a family bar. You know, you know, and uh, a private dining area off to the side, and that's what we.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what Melissa or
It's a
uh, Alicia's trying to get, knowing how many people's gonna.
we'll probably end up going to that then.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, there's no extra deal. You don't have to show up. She's got to tell that place how many. You know.
That's all kind of unofficial, like the things we went in.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it's not. Yeah,
Navi, yeah.
yeah, it's just
I'm
no
sorry.
life
Expo.
beekeeper bunch, so to speak.
I've heard people call it Nabi so many times this year. I started saying Nabi.
Okay.
I like to call it the Expo for short.
I don't.
I guess it don't matter. Big dinner. Huh, probably so.
Yeah, I'm really into that bourbon, Lee. I'm a what little booze I ever touched pretty much to my lips is I get them little bitty old bottles of Fireball in the wintertime. Once in a while, when it's real cold, I'll carry one or two of them with me and sip on it every now and then when it's cold.
Cameron's wife must have got a hold of him. I hadn't seen him post nothing lately. She probably told him he couldn't come on no live tonight. No chat.
He was on last night, I think. He and Chris weren't there. I didn't watch any of it, but I think he and Chris Medeiros was on last night. While Charlie was on.
Huh.
Um, I popped him on for just a minute, but I was so tired and wore out. I'd worked bees all day yesterday too, and I was so tired and wore out. I didn't partake in anything except the bedroom.
Our mentor used to talking about the 1-to-1. Our mentor, the thickest he ever got was 1.5 to 1.
Hmm.
He never would do the 2 to 1.
Yeah, I'm not saying I try. I'm just telling you what
He,
I've just. My daddy kept bees, and that's the way I learned. And I just don't. I
yeah.
never seen any need with my operation to have a heavy syrup, what they call heavy syrup. Nothing wrong with it. I'm too tired, I guess, to use up that much sugar, but I don't have to. I don't use heavy syrup. Well, build up faster, DC. I will on thin syrup as far as drawing out comb. They'll draw out comb a lot faster with thin syrup than they will heavy stuff. Or
Yep.
I will say that.
You can probably make it a little bit thinner than 1-to-1.
Yeah, I do. I
Get them.
do some. I never go over 1-to-1. I don't really. I'm not one kind of
Yeah,
like.
I've seen Dirt Rooster's daddy. He'd get a jar. I don't even have one sitting handy here, but he'd just get a jar and pour a little sugar in there, dry sugar, right out there in the bee yard,
Mhm.
and then pour water in that and shake that jar up real good, and put it right on top of a hive.
Yeah. Mhm.
Still got granulars floating around. It'll all work itself out. It ain't rocket science.
No, I don't measure anything. I just get my general ballpark. You know.
And I hear people say, "Well, you need to go by weight, not volume." Tell you what, you can fill a container up with sugar, dump it into a bucket, and fill that same container up to that same level with water, and your weights are going to be close. I mean, they're
Yeah.
not exactly the same as all that trying to figure weights, but it's close enough for a bee.
I I do it mostly like you're saying, just by whatever container it is, just put equal amounts of water and sugar in it. You
Yeah.
know. And, and like you talked about your daddy, shaking it up. I do that sometimes if I'm in a hurry, but if not, I'll try to make a. I do a lot of my feeding in my bee yard out of gallon jugs. I don't want to run around with a 250. I've got a pump and I've got the totes and all that, but I'll feed more out of gallon jugs than anything.
You just fill them up
Yep.
and haul
Yep.
them out there.
Yep.
Yeah. That's about as easy.
Mm-hmm. It is for me.
A friend of mine uses jars. He uses quart jars. And if he goes there and he's got one that's like 1/3 of the jar left, he'll just pull that jar and set another one down. When he
Yeah.
gets back to the barn, he'll put all them together and fill them up or top them off or whatever. He don't waste time in the bee yard
Yeah.
with none of that.
I feed a lot of jars and gallon. I don't use any 2-gallon buckets or anything.
Yeah.
I top feed, but I've got a Mennonite fellow that I buy some woodware off of, and he makes a really nice, just a wooden liquid feeder, and they do not leak. Never had one leak, and they're just like your commercial feeders, but he just makes them out of wood and seals them with seal it, on the joints, and I've never had one leak.
Yeah.
So I use some of them. I'm going to start using more of them, I think, in my 8-frame stuff.
I hear rain.
You say you hear rain on your roof, do you?
I hear a little bit of rain. Not hard.
Yeah, we've had a drizzle about, like I said, since about noon here, and it's still drizzling off and on. We were forecast to get about an inch out of this. I don't know. It's going to have to pick up the pace a little bit. I think we get an inch. I'm wanting it to clear up tomorrow so I can finish treating my hives. I've got 25 or 30 to get around the OAV on yet.
Yeah. Yep. Here we go with the silence again.
I'm just looking here to see what Beekeeper there's. Need to comment on the thin syrup.
Yeah, I had it up there a second ago. That one.
Well, I guess Eric. I'm a very fortunate beekeeper. I guess I've had a bunch of buildings from the cattle business, so I'm building poor. So I've got plenty of places to. I got wood in one building. I do all my woodwork in it. I got a greenhouse, and I do another building. I do all my metal work in, and so I'm very fortunate. I will admit to that. So space is not a problem in my world.
You hadn't seen Mark Miller in here, have you?
I have not. I don't think Mark's probably he's probably honeydew.
Yeah. Got his fancy overalls on tonight.
Yeah, he's got his I got it. Tight shoe night wear,
Yeah.
out on the town. Yeah, Mark was on with Charlie a little bit last night, I think.
Oh, look.
Oh, Mark, I apologize. Don't shoot.
I just tried to look for him, didn't even
You're
find
awful quiet. You need to get on here and help us me enjoy out. We're starting lying to people. We're probably running up
Yeah, we're just making up answers as we go.
running them up an oak tree. Howling at the moon. We'll have them out there howling at the moon after a while. I need to talk to you anyway, Miller. Get on here. Your wife will let you.
Did you see what I threw in the title of this one? The B team.
I don't know about the team part of it. Well, I've been working in the bees also, but I'm not near as old as you are. I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
I wasn't working in the bees. I was playing out there in the bees. I didn't do but three colonies today, so that wouldn't work. I guess the work part was maneuvering that camera around.
I think Keith is one of the early birds out there with these. I think he's put on a few supers. I remember what he said here a while back. He's got an anniversary coming up, I think, next weekend right away, too.
Really?
So, congratulations to you if she stuck with you that long. Keith Spillman, I'm talking.
Yeah. Uh-oh. How many? Okay. Down 5 out of 8.
Let's see, that was what? James Noel? Is that who that was?
That was, yep. Mine's 48. You almost right there with us, Keith. Or was it 49? I used to remember it until I
well, you better get with the program or you won't be married.
I know when it is. I never have. That's like the lady at the doctor's office one time. She asked me my wife's name, and told her what to write, and she asked me date of birth, and I told her what it was, and she said, "What was the year?" I said, "I don't supposed to have to remember that." I see Philip's name, but I don't see Philip. There he is.
Hey, we're gonna try to give it a shot, but I don't have any confidence.
It'd probably work.
Yeah, we got you for a little bit anyway.
Right.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. We hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can hear you.
all right.
Just keep it talking.
Nobody move. Everybody stay real still. Everybody stay real still.
Okay.
Yeah. This was the 49th year, because next year will be 50. We was married in 77.
Well, add 12 to that. I was married at 65, so I'll be 61, or we'll celebrate 61 if I make it that long. She don't kick me out in the meantime. April the 24th, 1965. I don't know. Can you imagine any woman being lucky enough, Joey, to get to live with me for 60 years?
I'll tell you, like my old buddy used to tell Daddy all the time, she definitely gonna have a crown in heaven.
That's what people tell my wife too. She's sainthood. Make her a saint. What are you up to, Philip? Taking care of Mama?
I don't think he can hear you.
I don't think he can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's kind of starting and stopping.
Oh,
Breaking up, or you got the big delay, you think?
I think it's just a real weak connection at my mom's house.
Yeah. Yeah. You need to put on about a 20-minute dissertation.
Y'all hear me still? I can't tell if y'all are moving or talking or what.
That's Joey's wedding picture.
Yeah, that
bride.
Yeah. She was a young girl, wasn't she?
Pretty thing.
Yeah. I don't know how somebody like me landed that.
No, I don't either.
I like them pork chop sideburns.
Yeah.
He one of them Harley riders, wasn't he? What is it? Easy Riders, wasn't that the?
Yeah.
About that time he.
If you didn't have sideburns back then, you wasn't in.
Yeah. He looked like one of them.
He's an easy rider. He's a motorcycle.
Yeah. Robert Newman.
I settled a straddle of several rides, but most of them was four-legged. They were mostly horses, about all I ever rode. I had one motorcycle in my life, and that was one too many.
I've had several. Matter of fact, when I was in school, I'd go to the dairy barn on a motorcycle every day, rain or shine.
Was that there in Franklinton?
Wow.
Is that where you went to school?
I'm looking at.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that dude is.
What, somebody trying to get in?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He didn't, whoever it was, didn't look like anybody I knew.
We're in trouble now.
Yeah, I don't know who that other person was. I don't know who
I
that
don't know
other
if you can hear
person
me.
was.
JL asked about
You need to get diarrhea mouth on here, Melissa, because me and poor old Joey, we about run out of anything to lie about. He can take over.
What do you want me to lie to you about?
Y'all been out Valentine, and did he take you out, Melissa, at the Valentine's?
Oh yeah, we went to a little bee expo conference thing this morning, and then now we're down at the lake house. We went to have dinner, and then we just got back.
Down at the lake house.
Well, so a couple of the people in the Missouri State Board were talking at this little beekeeping event they were having out this way. So we're like, well, we'll just drive out there and just stay at the lake house for the night and then drive back in the morning. So,
well, where was this conference at?
Springfield, well, Nixa, in Nixa.
I know where that is also.
Yeah, it was just a little like it was like
quite a ways from the house just to go to a little bit. What are you doing, Polytech? Excuse me, I'm got the.
Well, two of our friends on the Missouri State Board were speaking at it, so we kind of came to support them, and then we did drop off some posters for the upcoming Eastern Missouri Beekeepers Association workshop, which is this next weekend.
You ran out of time to Polytech that thing.
Yeah, for sure.
You got it. The only one I know that ain't for sure in yet is Joey.
I know. I still haven't seen Mr. Joey's ticket come across my computer, so
he's been talking about it. He just hasn't got there yet.
Yeah. Yes,
Well,
Dad, it was at Nixa Hardware. Why weren't you
I was
there?
gonna buy it for me and my wife, but she told me she wasn't going to that. She was just gonna do something else.
Now let me ask you a question since you guys are on here. Thank the Lord. Is your EMBA deal? Are you charging extra for some of those classes? Are they charging extra for some of them?
So the Friday classes is extra. So the Friday, if you want to come on Friday, it's $40 extra. So you buy the Saturday ticket, and then if you want to come on Friday, also it's $40 extra.
What's going on Friday that's a special? I want to know.
Tom Softman, Brian Zavada, and Jim Masucci will be speaking on Friday.
I've already run 2 out of the 3 of them down.
Oh no!
On this chat while you weren't here.
Oh man,
Who's that?
I'm gonna have to watch.
You said run 2 of the 3 of them, me and Brian.
I'd pay the 40, but it'd be for you two not to speak.
Okay, pay the 40 and then give me 40, and I won't.
No, just pay the 40 and just watch Jim then.
Yeah,
you don't have to go to the other. No, but Fridays from 10:30 to 5.
Well, that's kind of the first. Well, it's first year you've had.
Yeah, but there'll be 5 speaking sessions on Friday. 2 like panel discussions, and then each of them are giving their own separate talk.
Well, I don't need to know how to make money, and I know that's what Zavada's supposed to talk about. I've got more money now than I can ever spend, so I need to know how to make money.
Hey, we'll be able to get you to make that house payment next month. How about that?
That's what I need that $40 for.
Hey, one day you'll be able to retire. You know that?
Only I can't. I don't have enough stroke to get people to pay $40 to hear me lie to them.
Here, Joey, I'm going to share this. This is the Friday.
Okay.
This is the Friday schedule.
Now you know, Joey.
Hey, Joey, I'm going to get off of here.
All right. See you later.
Why are you leaving, Philip? I thought we were friends.
Let me see if I can make that.
He's quiet now.
I think he just he keeps hanging up.
Yeah, his feet ain't very good. He's at his mother's.
I'm trying to make this bigger. Sorry for moving it about.
We're gonna have to buy him one of those portable internet
There.
systems.
So this is the Friday schedule.
Philip, you need to come in from Texas.
So you got.
I can hear y'all fine now. Let me.
Oops.
He on.
Oh,
So you got
uh-oh.
Tom speaking, and then a speaker panel, and then Brian speaking, and then Jim speaking, and then another speaker panel for Friday.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys and everyone in the chat. Okay.
You see this Ask 3 Beekeepers section?
There's a segment from 12:45 to 1:30. It says speaker panel. It says Ask 3 Beekeepers. That's going to be a Ask 3 Beekeepers and a tips and tricks category. Okay. Now, what I'd like to hear is I'd like to hear from you guys. Tell me, I'm going to give you an idea of what my plan is to do there. Okay. So it will be myself, Brian Zavada, and Jim Masucci. So for reference, Jim Masucci was a molecular biologist, worked for Monsanto, Bayer, and he was the one that led basically the largest field trials, I guess, here in North America between here and Canada on the development of the Neroa product. Okay.
There we go.
So my question is this. He runs a little bit, probably a few more hives than I do, actually. But he's now retired. Okay, so here's the question. I have 3 different topics that we're going to do a Q&A and a tips and tricks on. And you guys tell me if you think that you would like to hear something different, or if you have an idea, I will definitely hear it. So here's the 3 topics: treatments, feeding bees, and hive products. On the treatment segment, it's going to be when you ask the 3 beekeepers, it's going to be like, what do you use? How do you use it? And why? On the feeding the bees portion, it'll be methods of feeding, like fondant, liquid, what ratios, et cetera, equipment and timing. And then the hive products, what do you produce out of that? And then how do you market it if you do? So my question to everybody here is there something that's more appealing than what I have here? Is there a different idea that everybody would? I realize everybody in here is not coming, but give me some ideas of something that would be appropriate. JW, I don't want to hear from you, okay? Just FYI.
So I'm going to share this other screen now, Joey. This is the schedule for Saturday, in case anybody is on the fence about coming and they want to know what we're going to be talking about, what topics are going to be being talked about. Can everybody see that? I can't tell. So
Mark says swarm control. That's just one segment. I am giving a presentation first on spring management, and we'll touch on that portion of it.
But it'd still be a good one to ask 3 different beekeepers how they do it.
Sure.
And put it on your list.
And then how you do queens.
So here's the actual schedule for Saturday for the beginner track and the experience track. If anybody's interested, we just finalized that yesterday, so. Let's see if I can get everybody back. There we go.
That's straining my old 80-year-old eyeballs to read that on the screen.
I know. You'll have to rewatch it on the television.
Yeah.
Or rewatch it on your phone and zoom in.
I'm watching it on the television. But I couldn't blow it up enough to.
Too blurry.
I could read it because I know basically who you've got coming, so I could.
Yeah. The only change we did make was Frank Rinkovich isn't able to come anymore because they aren't allowing anybody from the USDA labs to travel right now. So we had to do a last minute change out with him. And Jim Masucci actually referred Wes Card to us. And he's a big beekeeper, runs 3,000 or 4,000 colonies.
Who?
Wes Card.
Oh no, it's a lot more than that. It's like, I don't know, it's like 10,000 colonies.
But he owns the bee farm. Is that what it is?
It's several different companies all in one. The bee farm, and they operate out of.
You mean
in Massachusetts, I believe.
Hold on, Joey. You tell me if you know where this is at.
But he's worked with the USDA lab with that program and is really familiar with it. So he's going to be talking about queen breeding.
Oh, he tried to get in. He's gone.
I wonder if that wasn't him because there was no camera.
The first guy. Wow.
It's been kind of slow showing the camera for some reason. It's got a delay.
But anyway, that's our only change from the originally posted advertisements that we had. And Yes Honey is supposed to be there, but I'm sure many of you have been on Facebook and seen her husband was in a bad motorcycle accident 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to make it or if they're going to send somebody else. So hopefully, apparently his surgeries and everything went very well, better than expected, and he should do fine. But I think he's got a road to recovery ahead of him.
Who's that? Oh.
Yes, Honey, that honey soda alternative.
Oh, okay.
Her husband, I think they were in Texas. I thought is what I'd read, and he was in a motorcycle accident. And I think it was pretty bad. But she's updated on their Facebook page, so it's public knowledge. They've posted it on Facebook. Not sharing anything that isn't out there.
John's asking about the different categories.
Are you going to post that schedule on your Facebook page?
Janet is going to post it tomorrow, hopefully. That's our web person. So she's working on some posters today. So she wasn't able to get to it today, but hopefully she can get it posted tomorrow. What feeders work best with the season of the year? So that could be your talk point. Who asked about the honey show?
Hey, Ripple. Eric.
No, John Boxigal.
Oh, where's it? I'll have to
Oh,
find
he
it.
messaged me.
He
personally.
messaged you.
So I just told him it's going to be on the EMBA website.
Yeah, the rules to the honey show are on the EMBA website's homepage.
Also the categories.
And the categories are in the rules. Yep. Philip,
Rules.
why would you come
We
to
have
see
rules.
this? That's sad. For the honey show.
Oh.
That's next week. I'm going to be working on the. Yeah. As long as it didn't. Oh, I won. Read the rules, John, because I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It would say in the rules. Philip,
What else? What else was the questions, Tom? Was it you were going to have?
John Boxeagle was texting him what categories were in the honey show, and there's like 30, I think, categories. They're all listed in the rules that you can find on
No, he's not asking about that.
Hold on.
Charlie, you're asking about the speaker panel portion, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's what I had. Treatments, like what you use, how you would use it and why. Feeding bees, the methods, equipment, and timing. Hive products, what do you produce and how do you market, if at all?
Right.
And then I also jotted down Mark's ideas of swarm control and how do you produce queens. So I will say this, you're going to have 3 beekeepers up there. And first of all, I don't know if I'll get through the first 3, but I'm happy to pivot on any one of those. I'm having a Zoom call with Brian and Jim next week on Monday, and we're going to go over how we want to set this up. But I was just looking for ideas if anybody had something specific. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds good question. I mean, you're asking them how they do it, correct?
Correct. And each person may say, hey, I don't use that, or I do use that, and this is how I use it. So, well, I'm not going to disclose too much. I'll let it be a surprise. But
Here's 3 I'm gonna put up there that people suggested.
the double screen board versatility. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I put this one up there first.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize double screen board has several uses.
Yeah. Okay, I got that one down.
This one I have up here right now.
Feeding bees and how not to kill bees in the process. Improper feeding.
I won't say improper feeding. It would be more like whether it's a top high feeder, whether it's a frame feeder, whether it's a jar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and I think that'll be covered in the, feeding bees, methods, equipment, and timing. And that's going to be everybody's different perspective. And a couple of us may land on the same thing. A couple of us might have completely different ways to do that. and really this is like intermediate level. And the idea behind it is, okay, let's just suppose you were a first year or maybe even a second year beekeeper, and you're now coming through winter. The bees are alive. What does that look like the second year? Because your first year is really building, right? Whether you're a nuke, whether you're, package, whatever, you're basically building comb. You're getting your feet under you. You're building some basics on vocabulary, things of that nature. So now that, things are going to change a little bit for the second year if the bees are coming out of winter alive. So that's kind of where we're going to pick up. But it's not just for a second year beekeeper. I would say that kind of expands out. Charlie, we've talked about this in the past where, I mean, you said, and I'm not poking fun at anybody, so please don't take it as such.
Yeah.
That sometimes you get a 5th year beekeeper that might be what some might say is, well, you're like at a second year level. And I'm not here to judge any of that. Okay. I'm just here to help close gaps is the idea here.
Yeah.
To the best of my ability.
Here's the next topic.
What did we say about that, Charlie? First year beekeeper for 3 years in a row?
Well, I have one lady. She's a second year beekeeper for the last 10 years. and nothing to poke. It was like Brian and I caught just a tail end of their chat Thursday night, where what's his name? Glade is it? Out there from the Utah Beekeeper. He was talking about where they had the new beekeepers out there. Well, I'm just going to watch the internet, YouTube, and he said, well, I watched Bob Benny and I watched this person and that person, and it didn't, whatever the ideal was, it didn't work or whatever. And Glade was trying to tell him, look, you live in Utah, not in North Carolina or South Carolina. You kind of, you have to understand the idea is good, but you have to apply it to where you live at. And that's, and from what I gather, it was hard to get clubs in his area. There wasn't much of a club established out there, from what I understood. And I don't know. It's hard to teach or get information across. Or hard to get people to learn or accept it or something. I don't know. That's what I've always found here lately.
Okay, so Philip here. So that's a good one, and I'm going to say this. Melissa mentioned it. Has anybody ever heard of the gentleman named Wes Card? I know she just mentioned him a little bit, but
Wes too.
Wes Card, Card. Wesley Card. So Wesley Card is a co-owner of the bee farm out of Louisiana, but they have 3 different locations: New York, Massachusetts. And I was going to look that up for you, Joey, because you probably know where he's at down in Louisiana. Let me go back to that.
Anyway, finish your story.
Anyway, Wes is actually going to cover that. So Wes him and his brother run multiple different companies within that. So like some type of subsidiary, I guess, of or different areas of that. And I think they're like at 10,000 hives or something. And that was one of the things
They
that
got a
used.
lot.
Yep.
They got a bunch.
He has a lot. And obviously he's probably strictly on the management side. I would imagine if you have that many colonies, you're probably using, I'm guessing that I didn't ask him, migrant workers.
You got to
but-
have something that for that many hives.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You know.
And he's going to, oh, there you go, Brian. He is going to talk about scaling, but in the sense of small operations too, because I told him the size of the people that were coming as far as the operations that they're running. I said, now I would love to listen to a talk to scale from 200 to 1,000 to 2,000 to 5,000, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I need to be able to present for folks that are going to be there, of course.
Well, that's always been my question as far as management is. I look what I do and I'm like, I take so long to do certain things. And how do you scale up to, let's say, 75 or 100 hives? And if you're only one person, in order to accomplish what you need to accomplish in a efficient way, I guess.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and I think that would be a good one when you just said efficiency. And that one I like, because I really think that not necessarily if you're kind of, that's tough. Just because you're intermediate doesn't mean you're going to scale up either. But I mean, if you're doing things
well,
right,
it's like feeding. I know that, when we first met, you already had a tank and everything and a pump on the truck, and you're going out to the out yards and you're pumping off your sugar water. I mean, that's where I've scaled up, people, and then you go from people like you start making sugar water in 5-gallon buckets with either a stir drill and a stir stick or something like that. Or like me, I was cooking it on the stove in the house, and I would maybe get 6 buckets, and it took me all, half the night to get 6 buckets cooked up. And, it's all gone the next day. And it's like, okay, we got to scale it up, and be able to, my mixing machine now, I do 40-gallon batches. Yeah. And even that sometimes is not enough. Now it is. I've scaled down on the amount of hives I've got and stuff to feed in the fall. But it kind of depends. Well, I guess you would say where the person's at, what the person has. Like me or you have a skid steer. I've got a forklift. It helps out tremendously about lifting heavy objects, or tanks or whatever. Whereas a lot of folks like Brian's from Flower Street, he doesn't have that equipment, but he's got 75 hives. So how do you work around that? How do you scale up the production, making whatever you're trying to do to get those 75 hives?
And that'll be perfect because, again, different perspectives from 3 different ones. Jim Masucci runs a few more counties than me, and I think he literally just got a skid steer. Matter of fact, I was helping him out in a couple areas on that. So now Russell says, how to sell and market your honey. No one talks about that. It's so important if you want to make bees pay for themselves. So that is actually what Brian mentioned in here. His topic is beekeeping in the black. And that was the one thing that I thought Brian is extremely versed and knowledgeable about, as he has scaled his operation in Colorado.
Do you know who has an amazing talk, though? Nothing against Brian, and it's a little bit different than what Brian's going to be talking about, I think, is Nathan Coleman.
Oh, yeah.
Has an amazing marketing talk and how to get your honey into stores and things like that. His talk is really detailed and really good. But it's more about numbers and stuff like that. I lost where it was. But yeah, Brian's gonna cover a lot of that, which I think is important for everybody.
Yes. Who was it was saying something about getting the bees to pay for everything?
Yeah.
It just boils down to for me, it just boils down to honey sales, nuke sales, queen sales. You got to get to the point where you're bringing enough money in to cover your expenses plus make a profit.
So now I'll suggest this and say this, okay? You can break that down even more from honey sales, Charlie. Are you just selling bulk honey? Are you retailing it? Are you doing a portion of each? And then let's add in there. If you're doing honey, you're going to have wax, right? Okay. Now, are you selling off your cappings in a bucket? Are you rendering them down like just a first run and selling it off in blocks? Are you selling fully cleaned honey? Or I'm sorry, wax? Or are you selling it as candles, lip balms, etc.? So now you've added value to everything. Same thing with the honey. Are you turning it regular honey into creamed honey and adding value there? Or JW's favorite, bourbon barrel aged or something of that nature? So you can really dive down some good work.
Yeah, I mean, there's a broad, like you say, there's a very broad spectrum there when it comes, like you say, with sales, depending on how much you want to go with it. Depends on whether you want to go to farmer markets and stuff like that. And that's like people come to me and they'll say, well, where do you sell it at? I said, well, I sell it right here in my office. And I sell 1,500 pounds, and they can't believe, that's like huge to them. The person coming in buying or whatever. I said, I don't really have the time to go out and sit on Saturday afternoons.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Well, you big guys, the ones you're talking about with several thousand colonies,
No,
they're making their bread and butter is pollination. The honey, that's just kind of aftermarket, not aftermarket. That's just a little extra.
Yeah.
They actually sell theirs cheaper just to get rid of it.
Parrot Farms, unfortunately, no, we won't be recording it.
But you could come in person and be able to see it. So actually, now that I think about it, everybody that I'm looking at here on the screen is going to be in St. Louis next week.
How about that?
Look who ducks off. Yeah. You too, buddy. Hey,
Did
I'll
he
send
fall
Matt,
out of his chair, or is he hiding from you?
he's hiding. I'll send Matt over in the Cowboy Cadillac to pick you up. That, or I'll just call your wife and say, hey, make sure he gets in the truck and comes over.
Did you see what are you having problems with? Your fondant is melting on you? If that's the case, I don't think it's made right then.
Oh, boy.
Hi, Roy.
How hot is it up there right now? They get a lot of humidity.
Yeah, well, what's that? Is that going to melt the fondant?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, if they're that hot, they wouldn't need fondant. Then you could put sugar water on.
Probably so.
I mean,
I don't know if
once if the bees were flying and it's like today, it was 50, 55 degrees, and it was warm at night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say I don't know that exact magic number, and each colony might be a little different based upon colony size and numbers and how you're feeding. But my thought is if the overnight lows are not dipping down below probably somewhere between 40 and 45 degrees or so, I bet you those bees will still take it down at night.
Yeah, because at 45, I'll say 40 and 45, they're loose in the hive. Now, it was something that I got a video. I gotta finish it up. I ran out of battery today, and I got to finish it up hopefully tomorrow. But one of the things that I observed in the hive is that I had put in fondant and pollen patties 12 days ago, and a lot of them did not eat 100%. I figured they would completely clean out the fondant, and some of them really didn't need any more fondant. Most of them did get another bag of fondant, Matt's fondant in there, but I think that it got finally warm enough that they could have a loose cluster and they could move around in the hives and they could grab that honey that's in the frames next door, and they were maybe pouring that over the fondant that I was putting up on top. My theory, but you know,
Yeah, we've got a pretty good list here of good topics now.
well, there's.
I bet it took 4 hours to cover this.
Good dog.
Hey, Joey, let me ask Joey, I'm going to ask you and Charlie the exact same question. I'd like to hear your individual answers of treatments, what, how, feeding bees, methods, equipment, timing, hive products, what do you produce, how do you market, extracting, lessons learned, swarm control, how do you produce queens, and the double screen board versatility. What would you guys give me a first, second, and third on your list of what you'd like to see?
Well,
I like them all. I think they're all important. I think they're all good questions.
I like that double screen. I use it for several things, and they may have more uses for it than I know about.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't normally use a double screen. You know, I haven't. You know, but I could probably, for me, as listening, I would say, okay, I would find out what I could use it for, other than splits and putting a nuke up on top of a hive and overwintering a nuke and stuff like that.
What was the one before that? Before the double screen?
How do you produce queens, and then swarm control options for swarm control, splits, stem array, etc.
Okay, there's one about equipment.
How you feed your bees?
Yeah, feeding bees, methods, equipment, and timing.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good one too.
Okay.
I don't do a lot of feeding, but I think that'd be a very interesting.
You're feeding and you're asking what type of feeder you're using and
Yeah.
when you're using whatever type of equipment that you're using.
Yeah. So like methods, meaning are you feeding just dry sugar? Are you making a candy board where you cook it down to a hard, firm candy board? Are you using fondant? Are you using liquid feed, 1-to-1, 2-to-1, etc.? So multiple different methods.
You're either using in-frame feeders, top hive feeders, jars, and to me, jars and those other feeders are dependent on, I think, certain times of the year too.
Oh, most certainly it would be.
You know, the jars to me are more you're governing how much going into the hive and stuff like that. Whereas for me, a top hive feeder is fall management of you want to pour it into the hive so they will put it away because they can't drink, can't drink it as fast or use it as fast.
See, if y'all remember, fall before last, I didn't have any hives that were lacking food. They all had food, but for some reason, everybody was trying to rob each other. And I put feeders out with these storage bins, and they were taking it down too quick. And then I went and got the buckets and made them like the bitty feeders, and it made them work for it longer. It'd make 5 gallons last 2 or 3 days taking it in versus taking it all down in a day in a big BR. That was something that I had to do just to keep the bees occupied. Not saying they needed more food, but it was just to keep them occupied. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's one method of having to feed to control robbing.
Yeah.
That's the first year I had to deal with that like that.
Well, where you're at, Joey, your environment is so different than the northern tier of the country, I guess you would say. To me, you don't have a winter. You don't get down to 8 degrees or What's the coldest you get down there? Maybe 30 some occasionally.
On average, yeah, we're getting the 30s every now and then.
Every now and then, yeah,
A couple of hours a day, maybe.
couple hours.
Hey, Parrot Farms, if you don't mind me asking you, if you don't want to put it in there in the chat, that's perfectly fine. Where are you at in the country? How many colonies do you have, and what's your goal? Uh-oh, JW, look out! There he is.
He looks full.
Yeah, I was in a food coma for a little bit.
Hey, who's that beauty behind you? Her eyes are.
That's actually a picture I took last year, or the year before.
That's a nice looking picture, man.
That's my finger too. That she's on.
Oh, you can barely see that. Your name and everything's blocking most of that.
I know.
That's a good
How about
picture.
this?
I like that one. Well, you should enter that photo in a contest.
Like a honey show.
Yeah.
Nah. I
Hey,
forgot
yeah.
I had it. I just saw it the other night.
You know what? Bring it to St. Louis.
No, the topic
Yeah,
is
it's on my phone.
I think it's St. Louis.
No. You have to put it in a presentable frame and all that jazz to enter it into the honey show.
Oh well, heck, that's too much trouble. I'm not.
No, it's not.
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You never know. What's going on? Don't everybody talk at once when I jump on here.
I think JW was talking bad about you, but I'm not sure.
It probably was.
I was waiting for Parrot Farms' response, but he hadn't said nothing yet.
Yeah, that's okay. If you don't want to disclose in there, that's perfectly fine. I just thought
He
if
said
you-
something about he was talking to Eric. I guess it's
who's-
Now you see that on strain feeders or division board feeders, some people call them.
Mhm.
I hardly ever use the capping ladder. I
Mhm.
threw that part away from. I got 2 or 3, but I had a lot of drowning down in there. I don't know if there were too many bees trying to get down in there at one time.
Mhm.
But I pulled that out and just put a 1/8 screen down in it where they could climb out. That's what I use. When I use those, that's what I use, the screen.
Hey, Todd, did you like the picture I sent you the other day, last weekend? Remember?
Which picture was that?
Me and Michael.
Look your daddy. Daddy, look down.
Oh yeah. With the smoker, yeah. I
Yeah.
remember.
Here.
I told you I was in a food coma.
Yeah. Let me find it real quick. Where's that?
Parrot Farms. His name is, or I guess he's up in next to Watkins Glen, which is up there around Ithaca.
Send it to me so I can put it.
Okay, send to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. He's gonna send it to me on Messenger so I can pull it up for everybody to enjoy.
That's beautiful country, upstate New York.
He says where he is.
Upstate New York, near Watkins and Syracuse area. I can't read it now. You done clicked off of it.
Give me a second.
Give me a break here. I'm trying to read the
no.
screen.
Yeah. So
You want
Parrot
your
Farms.
Valentine's Day present, lady?
Parrot,
She
what's
was
your
with
first
you.
name?
Charlie's got his logbook out.
Yeah. Parrot, I need your name.
Word.
You made it into the Sawmill Charlie Cool Kids book. I'm hoping to get in there within the next couple of years, actually.
There you go, Todd.
Judd. His name Judd.
That's that guy that don't remember me.
Oh, Joey.
Okay, hold on.
You know those little spinning signs he has in the background?
Yeah.
Those things really did a number on my eyes when I stared at them. I was like freaking out.
Did you go into an epileptic scenario?
Yeah, I was going. I was going somewhere. I don't know where I was going. I was getting. I don't know. put to
I
sleep.
like how the when you take a picture of it, it just makes it look like it's like a
Yeah.
little fan.
Yeah, it is a fan. All right, remove that. We've seen
All right,
enough of that
all right.
nonsense.
Let me get back to here.
Yeah, I don't give him no promotion.
Joey's mad at him.
So am I.
Uh-oh.
Who, me
Joey's
or,
mad, I'm mad.
hold on, who you mad at?
Whoever Joey's mad at.
Oh, okay.
Whoever Joey's.
He's mad at her.
I guess Judd doesn't like Ithaca, New York up there because I guess it's because of the, well, let's see, what is it? Cornell's up there, the college. I know I went up there. They wanted 4 prices for a room in a hotel close to that town. And I'm like, what's the big deal up here? And it's to me, it's not a destination, but for some reason, there's a lot of folks that seem to be.
I used to hear those guys in New York City talk about the rednecks upstate. I said, y'all don't know what a real redneck is unless you know me. And then we took a little trip upstate.
You mean all rednecks are bald?
And I found upstate rednecks, upstate New York rednecks. Felt like I was home.
Yeah, I agree. Changing the subject 100%, I want to make a comment about something I run around to down at Nobby. I mentioned I'm not a big fan of pollen patties, period. I mean, that's about as far as it goes. But I, out of a desire to check it out, I bought 10 pounds of pollen in a 10-pound block off of aloe veras.
It's a pollen. You mean like a solid block of pollen, Patty?
It was
Is that the stuff
supposedly
where you cut it?
advertised, and supposedly, I guess, they supposedly made it out of natural pollen. And I'm going to tell you something. I have put a lot, just experimenting with it, put a little on some hives, just small amounts. And this stuff is the nicest form of pollen I've ever encountered, and it's in a very malleable but yet firm form, and it's just a nice. If you're into, and anybody's into pollen patties, you ought to check it out because it's, to me, it's I've messed with it over the years, but I'm not a big fan of it. But this is in such a form that you could put it on your hives and shape it to where hive beetles couldn't get in it, or even if you had it, if you was in hive beetle country. I don't think. I actually rolled this up today. I made a couple of 3 and put in the hive. Just rolled it up about the size of a wiener or a hot dog, and just laid them in the feeder shim with some of my fondant replaced, and I put a couple 3 batches in. Let's see, whatever day. What's today? Saturday.
It was Saturday when we started.
I put some in Wednesday in the hive. I don't know. I may create a mess with the bees brooding up over it, but I put just spoonful sizes in, teaspoon or tablespoon size batches in some hives just to see, and it's already gone since Wednesday. So check back on. Yeah, but it's just, I'm just making a comment with reference to it because I don't normally feed pollen. But this is, yeah, it is a nice product. Into my conversation.
Okay, so now I actually have to know and have to ask. Did you eat it and how did it taste?
And it don't taste good. It's got a different taste of any of the other stuff I eat.
I think any kind of pollen tastes terrible.
Ah, I've tasted
Not me.
pollen and bee bread out of the hive. It's. I think it is natural pollen, just for the taste of it. It doesn't taste bad. It's not good. It's not bad. It's edible.
So Judd, what kind of farming you do? Cattle or hay or what? JW is a cow man. I'm a hay man.
I'm a grass man.
Well, that's what a grass hay, whatever you want to call it.
I like the ones without quote unquote weeds in them.
I'm an ex-cow man, Charlie.
Cattle and hay.
Cattle and hay. There you go, JW.
Yeah, anybody that's in the cattle business.
Yeah,
probably
Judd,
in the business.
JW is he was a high-end cow breeder and bull. What'd you do?
Bull breeder.
Bull
Well, he's
seller
still a
and all
bull
that
too,
stuff.
Hey Charlie, would that be a bull breeder / horse trader?
No, I don't know.
I don't know about that.
He's
How
more
many
like a
horses
bull
did you
shooter.
trade? I gotta know that.
What's that, Tom?
I want to know how many horses JW sold and traded. I need the ammunition on that fella.
I don't know.
Thank you down there, Philip. I know where you're coming from too.
Beater.
Reader.
JW, did you? I know you said you sold bulls, registered bulls and stuff like that. Did you do any genetics?
Oh yes, a lot of that's all bull breeding or cattle breeding is.
So you sold straws,
Mm-hmm.
semen straws.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's kind of
Yeah,
where I
Judd.
got started.
I would ask a question.
I've collected a lot of it over the years.
Well, I have a question for you about that, but I'm going to hold off till the chat's over.
Yeah, Judd. My son's taking over the hay business. We do.
Well, I don't know how big of money it was. I didn't get rich from it. More. But I did sell a lot of semen over the years. In fact, I've still got some.
How long will that stay good if it's like a cryogenically frozen?
You'd have to ask somebody older than me. I've had some around for some of it for I've bred some of my own stock out of semen that the bull had been dead for like 40, 50 years.
Holy cow.
Oh, really?
Wow.
It's practically, I don't think anybody knows how long it's good for because I don't know anybody that's ever, I'm talking about cattle semen. There's a difference between, animals by how long the semen will keep. But in cattle, I don't think there's if you keep it at, liquid nitrogen, that's what.
It's cold.
Yeah, it's like negative.
Really, I mean, you keep it in there, liquid nitrogen tanks, and it's just.
I remember when you could take that class for about $100.
Negative 321 degrees Fahrenheit, sir.
Negative though.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I knew that Google would get involved here real quick.
Okay, so hold on.
When I said it was awful cold, I wasn't going to put out a temperature because I figured I'd be wrong. So 342 according to Google.
So here, I'll tie, now that we've gotten completely off topic of bees, I'll tie it back in for a minute. And I'm gonna tell you information that I heard, and I'm gonna regurgitate it. I don't know any of this to be completely factual, but I feel like it came from a credible source. And you all tell me if you know anything about this. When you're talking about drone semen, the way I understand it is they have not been able to successfully freeze that and reintroduce it because they said the tail on the sperm is so long, when you freeze it, it breaks. And then they're not a good swimmer beyond that. Has anybody ever heard that information before?
Well,
I
it's just been
think I
recently
have.
that they've come up with a way to artificially inseminate hogs, on account of the semen. They finally come up to where they developed a way to do it, but for years and years they couldn't artificially inseminate swine, because they couldn't come up with a way to collect the semen
Really?
and get it to keep.
Huh.
So I've been told. I never was that much of a hog guy, but that's what the hog people told me.
That's interesting that things can be that much different. You would just make assumptions and say, well, if you can do one, you can do them all. But it sounds like that's not the reality of it.
No, it certainly is not.
All right, Brian.
See, in vitro fertilization is the thing now. That's even old school. Is artificial insemination is old school now. They.
All right, next topic. What is it?
Yeah,
We went from bees to cattle to hogs, back to bees.
Well, it's after 9, so we're on borrowed time right now.
How about bourbon honey?
Yep.
We just got
Done.
some. We just got some in the barrel. What, last week, the week before?
Who's we?
Well,
Well,
I told somebody to do it, and he finally did. He finally listened.
So, Todd, does that classify as we if somebody told somebody else to do something?
Answer wisely. I'll see you in less than a week.
Yeah. Don't get me in this.
Todd, be truthful. Be truthful.
Hey, I saw what kind of bath you drew for us, so I'm not going to say a word.
Hey, I spoil this gal right here. I spoil this lady, y'all.
That was
I'm
hilarious.
going to bring some sample made to EMBA. Not a lot, because I don't have a lot, but I got to bring some samples.
And that'll be for the after party?
That'll be for my choice.
Oh, okay, very good. So be it.
I may just give that to my friends. Me and Joey may drink it all.
I'm gonna say Tom's not getting any.
Dang it. I missed it, my hair. Chris
I'm
Medeiros.
going to bring a couple. I may bring more than that if I can talk my son out of some of his.
You got the key to his house. Just go get it.
He's a little bit bigger than I am,
Unfortunately, our bourbon honey is not going to be ready by this weekend, but Michael Mahar, he'll probably have some of his at the workshop.
I hope he's not sick when he gets there.
Yeah.
That guy,
I'm telling you what.
he works too much and gets himself sick. Is what it is. He doesn't ever get time to rest. He's a go guy.
Yeah.
Yep. He'll be in St. Louis.
Your weather straightening out, Charlie?
Do what?
Is your weather straightening out? Getting better?
I was typing. Straighten what out?
I said, is your weather straightening out?
All the weather. Yeah, it got up to about 55 today, and at least you could get out there without freezing your fingers off. And it's starting to melt a lot of this snow. especially around my hives where I had a 2-inch ice,
Yeah.
layer on top of the snow
Snow, yeah, I did too.
and all
Mine's
that.
about all gone except where it's been pushed up and piled. It'll be all gone. It's raining here now, so it ought to be all gone by tomorrow, I'd say. Thank you, Jesus. As Jeff Horshaw would say, I hate snow.
Well, I'll tell you, all that really warm weather that we've had here right in the Midwest, just this last week has taken my 10 inches, and probably JW is
snow.
14 inches. Hey, Joey, I'd be cautious on that.
Yeah.
And it has pretty much dropped it down to almost basically nothing. So there's really not that much piles. And I'll tell you, down here in the southern Missouri, I haven't found one pile of snow, and I'm certain there's still some that are in St. Louis from what we had, and I'm probably still some in your neck of the woods, right, JW?
Just mine's all gone except where I pushed it up and piled it.
Okay.
The last of it went off today. It started raining, misties, and the stuff about noon here today, and it's still raining. Their forecast we're going to get an inch of rain. So let's see. Hasn't rained hard any time, but it rained me out at noon. I was OAB.
Is it raining at your place now?
Yep.
Yeah. So
I just let my buddy out.
It moved out of where I'm at, still pushing through St. Louis though. But I'll tell you what, it is. When we were heading down toward from the hills down back down toward the lake, the ridges around here, those were so foggy you probably couldn't see. I don't even know, 150 feet in front of you.
Well, it's 43 here right now, which is that's the thing that people don't realize, in discussing feeding bees and so forth. It's your nighttime temperatures that you want to try to monitor. It's the daytime don't make such a big difference. It's the nighttime temperatures has a big effect on the bees. That's my statement for the month or year, forever.
It's supposed to be 75 in St. Louis on Friday.
They're talking about a chance of that.
Let me see. I'll tell you.
Dang. That's what I just saw.
No, I'm not seeing that. You're seeing 75 in St. Louis?
Well, this is
I see 71 on Thursday, but I see 51 on Friday and 49 on Saturday.
well, let me make sure I had the right place. Maybe that was
Anything's better than snow.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to snow here. I promise you that.
It's
Might be a little bit overcast.
I'm in southeastern Illinois, beekeeper.
I think that's my house is what's supposed to be 70.
All right, maybe I'll say them.
It says Wednesday 72. Yeah. Wednesday 72, Thursday 75, Friday 49.
Yeah.
Welcome to St. Louis.
That's right.
Oh, that's Missouri weather. I remember all
That's the
that.
point I'm making about putting on more feed. They're going to have these warm days. And I'll tell you, Tom, did you ever check into your hives on feed?
Nope. Didn't break into them. That's my goal this next week.
I'm suggesting you better quick, because a lot of my hives that had 3 or 4 pound ones gone.
Really?
Yes, sir.
I heard you earlier, JW, talking about feeding all that fondant. And now you got some boomer hives. I'll tell you.
Well, for my weather here coming next week, it's going to be 45 to 50 pretty much every day.
Yeah, I might.
That's going to be the high. which is it's going to be great. I like you were saying. I think that with that flight weather, they're going to be doing a lot of flight, but there won't be a whole lot of food out there for them.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way it is here. We may have some, if we get a week of nice warm weather, we may have a little forage popping out. I don't know. I've got some red maples. The buds are pretty good size.
I had one hive out there today. It was all poopy on the darn landing board.
Oh, mine looked like it's a horse.
I had one of them smart bee plastic coat hanger things. You know, you go in there and
yeah.
They didn't really have that many dead bees in there. I pulled the entrance reducer down, and wasn't much hardly at all.
Yeah.
I had more bees coming out of some nukes than I did anywhere else.
Charlie, what I would suggest is if you go to a colony and you notice if you're walking through the bee yard, you go to a colony and you see a few dead bees in the bottom, just get down really low and start blowing in the front of the entrance so you clean them out, okay? But while you're doing it, set up a video camera for us.
Yeah.
We need some entertainment here.
Yeah, and run your fingers up in there too.
You know, Charlie, this is what we could call it. We could make it a challenge.
Sawmill Charlie challenge.
Sawmill Charlie challenge.
Put it on
Blow in the
TikTok.
entrance, and you have to hang out at that entrance for at least 45 seconds.
It's like bull riding. You gotta stay on for 8 seconds, but the beekeeping.
Yeah.
83 in Cross Plains. You talk about Cross Plains, Georgia?
No.
Beekeeper? Surely.
Yeah, THBK, the beekeeper one.
Do you have them in your book, Charlie?
No.
Oh.
I guess he's talking about Cross Plains, Georgia. Which it could be 83 there, probably Tuesday.
Huh. That's interesting what Judd said.
Better than the 2-man luge. Eric likes the bee challenge idea.
Eric, you've sent a video in too. We'll all send videos in.
I even had it all over me yesterday. You know, bees were flying and they were defecating. I had it on my cat bills and everything else.
Fed the cow chili.
Yeah. Hey, Dot.
Oh, Brian. Hey, Charlie, did you see Brian's comment?
Yeah, it was probably hot chili too.
Extra spicy.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Oh, man. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Cross Plains, Texas, okay. There's a Cross Plains, Georgia too, so that's the reason I was asking.
Oh boy. That's good. Hey, JW, did you take your wife out for Valentine's Day?
She took me.
Oh, hey. I like that. That is good.
Define take him out.
Now
Yeah.
we'll go out and eat in a couple of days. I mean, she.
Well, it's getting close to 9:30. I think it's about time
What?
to get in the chat.
This has been the longest chat in history, Joseph.
It feels like it, don't it?
Hey, Dottie.
I struggling earlier.
We
Thank you, Brian.
had trouble keeping conversation going, period.
Hey, Clay, make the video, please. I need entertainment, bud. I get bored easy.
Yeah.
So remember, everybody, you can do the Sawmill Charlie Challenge. Send the videos in. And what does the best video get? The person that hangs out the longest gets what?
Look, that kind of I didn't look down in there and blow in it, but it kind of reminded me. Sometimes you just not thinking right, okay? But I was weed eating around my beehive several years ago, and I was in a dead run with it going, and I had mechanics gloves on, and everything was fine. And when I got to the last hive, it had threw a bunch of grass up on the landing board, and I just reached down there and knocked that grass off with my hand, reached up in there and grabbed it. And when I did, about 12 bees landed on, grabbed a hold of that mechanic glove. They let me know that wasn't sting proof. It was just a habit. I had gloves on. I wasn't even thinking what I had on. Reached in there and knocked that grass off, and they let me know I needed to go on.
Isn't it amazing how quickly those bees can pop off if they want to, and how many of them can do it? How quickly?
Night, Brian.
Good night, Brian. Appreciate that. I'm gonna go ahead and end the chat. Let everybody come in the chat over there tonight. We'll remind everybody to hit that like button. Sting that like button on your way out. Appreciate y'all.
Night,
Night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.